Today we're going to talk about what a regular plate should look like at your meal. Have you ever wondered, am I eating enough? Is this portion too small? Should I be eating more? Well, that's normal. The USDA developed a concept called My Plate, which looks something like this. It has your protein, grain, fruit, dairy, and vegetable portion. As this appears to be a well-portioned plate, everyone has different nutrition needs than the next person. So let's take a look at a few scenarios that may help you put this into perspective. These are meals for dinner in a household that consists of a mom, a dad, a grandparent, and a teenager. As you can see, all of these plates are portioned differently. Let's take a closer look as to why they are all different. First, we have a 17-year-old athlete who plays soccer and has soccer practice 4 times a week, 3 hours each time. What do you notice about his plate? Why is his plate different? The teenager is making sure that he is having an adequate amount of protein and vegetables in his diet, as well as making sure he's getting the right amount of carbs in his diet as well. The reason why the rice portion is making up about half of his plate is because he wants to make sure he has enough energy for his games and his practices for soccer. If he does not, he may feel a bit fatigued and tired and not have enough energy to play in the games or practices.
Carbohydrates are our body's main and immediate source of energy. As I was explaining, carbohydrates are an essential macronutrient needed to replenish energy burned in sports with quality carbohydrate sources. Not only can you get your carbs from grains, but you can also get them through fruit and dairy. For example, the 17-year-old boy that we just talked about eats a banana every day after soccer practice and drinks an 8-ounce glass of milk during lunch.
Next, we have the mother's plate, who is classified as obese and has a goal to lose weight. The mom is loading up on vegetables. She has it portioned about half of her plate. She's staying mindful with her carbohydrate intake and keeping her rice at portion control. Looks like she has about 1 serving. And finally, she is making sure that she is getting an adequate amount of protein in as well.
We need to make sure we understand that the mother is seeking to reach a healthy weight and a realistic weight for her body, and she is reaching her goals the healthy way. Some strategies that she has been focusing on are smaller portions, assuring adequate protein and quality carbohydrates throughout the day. An example of quality carbohydrates would be quinoa, and focusing on increasing her vegetable intake to replace the snacks that she used to have that are not as nutrient dense, and increasing her vegetables also helps keep her full.
Next, we have the father who is at a healthy weight. However, he does have type 1 diabetes and he has had a history of a heart attack before. So what he's trying to do is stay mindful of his sodium intake as well as his carbohydrate intake. So as we look at this plate, we can see that the father's plate is pretty well portioned. He has almost an even amount of protein from the chicken, broccoli for the vegetables, and his rice is portioned out as well. The reason why he is making sure his carbohydrates are portioned out is because he practices a technique called carb counting, which many diabetics do in order to make sure that they're having an adequate amount of carbs per meal to make sure that their blood sugar levels are not going too high or too low.
Because of his medical history, he uses his plate as part of his treatment by having portion control and practicing carbohydrate counting. Variety, quantity, and quality are key to meeting his nutrient needs.
Finally, we have our 75-year-old grandparent who lives with the family, and his concern is weight loss. He wants to make sure that he's not having any weight loss, fat loss, or any muscle loss. So why does the grandparent's plate look different than everyone else's? What makes it different? As you can see, the grandparent is getting an adequate amount of vegetables and carbs from the rice and the broccoli. However, he's really focusing on making sure he's getting enough protein in through his chicken. So he's added more chicken to make sure that he stays strong and maintains his weight. And so he gets enough, making sure that he gets enough grams of protein in per day. He also is adding a slice of toast and a bread roll to add an additional amount of calories to his meal to make sure that he at least maintains his weight rather than loses weight. And of course, as you get older, sometimes food is just not as tasteful. So he's making sure that he has his salt shaker by him, and he does not have any heart conditions, so this is okay in his case. And this is what he feels is good for his plate.
Complete this My Plate visual with healthy fats, and some ways to do that would be cooking with oils. That could be olive oil, sesame oil, or avocado oil. Those are healthier oils. You can do this by pan frying and baking your items. In this case, I did it with the chicken. I pan fried the chicken in olive oil. And adding more fat, you can personalize your plate by adding sliced avocados on top of the rice, or shredded almonds on top of your broccoli or rice as well. And even some healthy fats are incorporated into some sauces as well.
Everyone's plate can look different depending on their situation, whether that is a health condition or how much they exercise throughout the week or which stage they are in their lives. So evaluate your lifestyle and see which is the right plate for you.